Okay, good afternoon, Professor and lab members. Today I would like to present a survey paper that presented in the IGCAI during our visit in that conference in Jeju. And the reason I also choose this one is because like during the conference, a lot of paper uh, deep in fall into this topic, like how to utilize federated learning to fine-tune the foundation model or large model. Uh, and yeah, this is the introduction. And as we know, due to the ChatGPT and other famous foundation model, it's basically conquered deep learning model. And author claim like it could perform well across various application. And due to this, the main direction is not actually build the model from the scratch, but using the foundation model and then fine-tuning it to specific tasks. And yeah, it's usually because we only fine-tune, it requires smaller data set. But the one that we need is like variety of samples because we already has a huge number of data set. So we only need some good of specific that cover diverse data into this specific task. And to access this breadth of data is always challenging in deep learning due to privacy issue. And federated learning become one of solution to handle this privacy issue. So federated learning could provide or to give access to significantly larger and more diverse data set to fine-tune the foundation model in the downstream tasks. And in this paper, they mentioned because federated learning is basically uh, developed for the cross device, and then we need to optimize this process because foundation model is very huge model, and we need to optimize it for the training and communication efficiency. So it's not become very costly to fine tune the model in this federated learning scenario. And their contribution is like they are the first to propose novel taxonomy of FL methods for federated to fine-tune the foundation model, and they provide holistic evaluation of existing FL computation efficiency and communication efficiency. So they are focusing this uh, to challenge in this federated learning, and they provide thorough discussion on future research direction because this is still a new topic. And this is like their taxonomy. As they mentioned, they focus in these two area, computation efficiency and communication efficiency. And as we could see in here, this is like several brands or several category fall under these two technique. So yeah, this is like they mentioned brief introduction about federated learning. Yeah, basically we already knew that FL goals try to minimize global loss, and then each client perform local training, and then we will update it, this updates parameter in the server. And for the taxonomy, so computational and communication has been studied in FL, and in fact, like we already work under this. For example, like in our most recent paper in the ComSec, we handle this challenge. But the problem is in the federated learning, it's usually fall under small models, and with the number of parameters is less than 10 million parameters. So yeah, there are a lot of lightweight FL architecture have been proposed, but usually the model size is only like this amount. But the foundation model, it's in the different league. It's more than 1 billion parameters. So to handle from this scale of model to this scale of model, we need to address a lot of things. And in here, because they cover two, computational and communication, and as mentioned before, like in the computational efficiency, they have four major categories like full model training, parameter efficient fine-tuning, prompt tuning, and instruction tuning. And then for communication efficiency, because like from this computational efficiency, it could reduce the number of parameters need to be sent from the client to the server. but it still left a significant amount of data because, as the author mentioned, like 1% from 1 billion parameters still a huge number. So that's why like some work needs to be done to handle this communication efficiency. And in here this is like less explore topic, and this only contain two categories like model pruning and full model compression. And this is like recent work fall under computational efficiency. So yeah, as we could see in here, not every work fall under foundation model. So the author kind of like mix the federated learning method with not so big model parameter, because we could see like only fed IT and fed DPA that the maximum model parameter is above billion. Other is still in the order of million. And from here, as we could see, it's still the majority of work still under the domain of NLP. A lot of still in this computer vision, and up until now there is no audio, and I think also there is no human activity recognition domain under this existing work. So in the first category, full model training. So in the full model training, it's basically like how can we train foundation model, but not in the centralized, but in the federated learning. So it requires training all parameters. So a lot of works done in here. Some is like use like bird family models, and then they perform training in the federated learning. Others use like GPT-2 models, and one that the previous work conclusion is like it's performed significantly worse compared to centralized learning, and that's why like up until now it's still challenging to create foundation model if we only train in the federated learning, not in the centralized learning. And they also mention like as the model size increase beyond 100 million parameters, the performance is significantly worse, even though they use the same self-supervised learning technique to in here, but still challenging because like non-IID become the problem in here. And then for the second category, parameter efficient fine tuning. So this is the different from the first category. Like in the second category, we already have the pre-trained model, so it's already trained, and then we only send it to the federated clients to fine tune on for their specific task. So that's why in here is usually freeze the transformer block and only train the fully connected layers in the usually like in the classification or in the middle of the transformer block. So it's resulting like 98% less communication. So they reduce the number of parameter need to be trained in this federated learning. But the problem is it is more sensitive towards non-IID data. And in here they mention several technique. The first one is like sparse fine tuning. So yeah, this is like the basic one. So for example, like BitFit, they only train bias term and then final classification layer. So this is like only fully connected layer in the end during in the decision. And then Fed F, so it frees the model, the majority of the model, and then only like adjust it into several significant model that, so they use some kind of like importance into this one, and they try to find which layer need to be trained to get that almost the similar performance if we compare if we train it or fine tune all of the layers. And then in the vision they show that communication cost reduced by 99.8%. And then other than freezing some layers and then fine tunes for specific layers, this one is proposed like adapter based fine tuning. So the idea is like all of the model will be freeze, all of the transformer block will be freeze, but we will add certain like adapted layers in the middle of the transformer block, because like usually in the foundation model we could get several transformer block, but we will add this adapted layers in here. So basically the adapted layers is try to make the output of certain transformer to be specifically contain information uh, related to the specific task. And it's also like mentioned that the adapter layers is also significantly lower than the, I mean like lower dimension than the original transformer block. That's why like in here they put it WT down and WT up. So basically it's like this is like the output from the previous transformer, and then we will scale it down to the lower dimension, and then after we use this, after we compute the hidden state, or not only hidden state but also like nonlinear function, we could scale back up to the next transformer layer. So in between of this transformer block, they will scale down and then scale up again, scale down and scale up again. So that's why like in here it is reduced, the number of parameter reduced, because we compress the information between this transformer. And the other thing is like lowering adapters. So different with the this adapter based fine tuning. So in here we didn't add a new layer in the middle of the transformer, but during the model update, because this is like the basic federated learning, we have like this is like the old weight parameter, and then this is get from the gradient descent. But in here we will change this matrix to this two matrix, so A and B. So in here is like we have like R dimension. So this is like significantly lower from U and R. So basically this is kind of like projected layers. So the idea is like how can we reduce this matrix? Let's say this is like 1 million times 1 million, and we reduce it to 1 million times 2 if we put R equals 2, or maybe if we put R equals something. But the problem is usually like A and B is initialized using this one in the centralized Gaussian distribution and zero matrix in the beginning. And it could slow down the fine-tuning process due to non-IID data, because each of the client could get to different direction to the value of A and B in that matrix. And then Fed clips is also another federated works that they only aggregate the adapter layers, but yeah, another work show that it's worse accuracy if we compare to the full fine tuning. So it's not quite match the, yeah, it reduce the number of parameter need to be sent it and need to be trained, but not quite match the full performance of the full fine tuning. And then LoRa, FAT-DPA are LoRa-based technique, and they want to handle the non-ID problem, the one that I mentioned previously. So the idea is like they want to regularize this update using this beta. So this is like hyperparameter, but yeah, we need to find the ideal beta value in here, and also like they need, before we regularize this model update, we need to warm up period, and it's around approximately around 100 FL training round, and it is very expensive because every client need to be joined throughout this work period, so they could have certain direction of the model updates parameter. And in the federated learning, forcing the all client to be joined in 100 consecutive training round, it's quite expensive, because some client could be lost connection, or yeah, maybe the battery is dead. So it's still a problem in this scenario. And also like other than what that another thing work with the prompt tuning, but this is only right now is only explored under the NLP task. So the basic idea is like in the input, because this is like maybe like sentence or document, we want they want to add the certain prompt or certain token, and the idea is like they want this token or prompt to be learnable. So basically they want to make the training to find so usually like in the prompt engineering, it requires from the domain expert, but in here, they want to make it automatically to find some good prompt to make this the the performance getting better to the specific task. So so the role of this prompt is like to provide context or to give the input to be in the format that could easily interpret by the foundation model. And in here the idea is like they don't want to train or fine tune the layers in the fine tuning in the foundation model. And yeah, FedProm is the first one, and I don't, yeah, at least in this survey paper they only mention only this work, and basically they only aggregate the learnable prompt. So basically in here they make the prompt as some kind of like embedding embedding layer, kind of like similar to that one. And also like instruction tuning, so it's quite similar. Also like they didn't mention what is quite the difference between prompt and instruction tuning, but my guess is like instruction tuning requires human, so human to provide instruction. And as we could see in here, this existing work in the reinforcement learning with human feedback, so they have prompt in here to guide the outputs. So the output is related to the specific task, and then after that they ask user or human to rank based on their preference. So they ask, so it's become the reward function in this thing, and then they will train it in the self-supervised to get the maximum reward. So yeah, and this one is done in not, it is not federated learning. It's basically like reinforcement learning, but they use human feedback in this one, and also like fed instruction tuning. So they adapt instruction tuning for federated setting, but uh, I didn't look to the original paper, but in this survey paper, they only mention like, yeah, they only provide several local instruction tuning to each of the client, but I don't know whether they also aggregate the instruction and how you aggregate instruction, because instruction is basically kind of like comment. It's not like numerical where you could send to the server and then aggregated them. And then yeah, the discussion in this one area is like, yeah, they mention like the recent trend is like more and more foundation model become available for unrestricted use. So basically it means like we could download this foundation model and we could fine tuning to our specific needs. And that's why they said building another foundation model is impractical. So that's why like full model training in the federated learning is also not a good direction. They see the priority is in the path. So it's basically like the one that I mentioned, like use the existing pre-trained model and then fine tuning, but only with on specific layer or maybe only the adapter layer, and address the limitation that they mentioned is a good direction, and also like incorporate them with another technique that later we will see in the communication efficiency. So basically in this recent or existing work, they only tackle the computational, but not merit the concept from the communication efficiency. And also like they mentioned, exploring prompt tuning for computer vision is also interesting, because right now a lot of computer vision application try to do like multimodal learning, and also like in this IGCI we see a lot of trend into this multimodal. So how can we make like multimodal from vision to text? So basically they mention also about that. And also like the second half of their work is like communication efficiency, and yeah, this is also less explored, because as we could see in here, only one work that the number of maximum parameter above 1 billion, the other is like only in the order of million. And also like they mentioned, like even though from the computational efficiency we could reduce the number of trainable parameter, but the size is still huge. because yeah, if we have billion parameter, if we reduce it 10% or maybe like 5%, we still have a million of parameters need to be sent. So a million of parameters times by a number of FL training run is still huge amount of data to be communicate to the server. And also, as we could see in here, there is no work in the audio. So right now it's still in the computer vision and NLV domain. So yeah, only these two things. And also like, yeah, the first category is model pruning. So yeah, this is actually nothing new in here. So model pruning is basically like we have like big model and then we only want to select relevant part of the model need to be sent to the server. So prune FL is like one of the work like, but in here like in the first stage they use like powerful client, and then this powerful client needs to be find the common initialization during the training, and then after that they will get this pruning mask. So basically from this one is we know which certain part of the model that update more frequent compared to other part of the model. But the problem with this is because like since we work in the foundation model and then the order is billion, and then the pruning mask is we want to preserve only like the more important part. So the pruning mask logically will be very sparse. And then this become problem because right now, if we want to implement it in the real life scenario, the hardware support for the sparse matrix multiplication is still limited. So it didn't give uh, how to say like a huge benefit in terms of like computational. So it improved the communication in terms of when we send it from client to the server, but in the computational part, because when we multiply in the sparse matrix multiplication, the order is still the same because yeah, the hardware didn't support this sparse computation. And then the other thing is fat tiny, similar to prune FL, but during the initialization they use batch normalization. And also like they mentioned, this is promising direction because we could combine it with other things in the PEFT, PEF. And then for the full model compression, so this is different from like model pruning is we intentionally modify the architecture of the model, but in here the model is still preserved. So they mentioned like in case of domain shift, we want to preserve full model because maybe right now this part is not update significantly, but as the domain or the distribution is shift, then the less important part now become important. So that's why like we want to preserve full model. And then in this way, full model compression becomes a better technique because we basically just compress without changing the architecture. So a lot of work uh, try to work under this compression. The first one is quantification. So it is basically more in this numerical operation because like usually like in the deep learning we use 32-bit, and now we want to reduce the number of precision maybe like to the 16 or maybe to the 8-bit. So we want to find this optimal float precision, and then this one is like we try to, the problem with this one is it add another computational overload to find this optimal floating precision. And then fed OBD, so we randomly drops block of transformer during the training. So it's similar maybe to drop out, but this one is like we drop the transformer block. And sparsification is another technique. So sparsification is different from the quantification. Sparsification is like we try to make certain weights into zero, certain model updates into zero. So we want to make it sparse. And different from the model pruning, sparsification didn't change the model architecture. And Soteria FL is work in here. So they combine this sparsification with differential privacy to enhance the communication efficiency. And then for gradient projection, as previously mentioned, like usually like from the in the federated learning, we send the gradient updates, and usually gradient update is very high dimensional. And in here, they try to project this high dimension into scalar vector. Basically, this is like in the lower dimension, and it could achieve 99% reduction in communication cost. So FET K-sheet is the first technique that use this technique. And then also this is the first one that use foundation model, because as we could see in the previous table, this thing is worth above 1 billion model parameter. And yeah, in the discussion is like existing work in the communication efficient methods for FL is focused on the small model, so less than 1 billion model parameters. And then they also see like it's not clear how the model pruning affect to the foundation model, because we require to change the model architecture by prune the model. And also, like they mentioned, the full model compression maybe is a better choice, because they did not alter the model structure, but rather they reduce the number of parameter precision. So the model architecture itself is still intact, and maybe the model performance has a reduced low performance drop in case of this one. And then combining PEF with the model compression is promising direction, as mentioned previously, but we need to be careful because PEF is very significant to non-IID data. Now, because PEF is significant to non-IID data, and then we add the compression to this one, so we need to see how much it could affect, because they said like it could be compounding the effect. And then they also evaluate existing FL frameworks. This is like the popular one, and as we could see in here, yeah, for the PEF, like basically freezing certain layers, like most of popular framework and Flower also already has the ability, but for the communication efficiency, like compression, model pruning, currently there is no FL frameworks could handle this one. And they also mentioned like FL frameworks needs to catch up with this more recent research in this research area. And then this is like the conclusion, like they offer several questions in here, like because like when fine tuning we require high quality data to fine tune the foundation model. So how could we evaluate this fine tuning techniques? And also this is quite similar question like the one that I present previously, like in this progress meeting, because like I mentioned, like not all of like the data need to be used during the fine tuning, because certain data maybe when we include this data, it will be make the overall performance worse. So they also asking the same question, like how can we evaluate, or how can we at least maintain the fine tuning process with this high quality data? And also like because existing work in the one that they mentioned, they use a lot of hyperparameter. So how can we optimize the hyperparameter? And they mentioned like, yeah, we could dynamically adjust this one, but it is very sensitive to the changing of FL environment. It means like every client could have different hyperparameter setting. So how can we handle this one? And also like they want to see like what is like the interplay, or maybe like what is like the trade-off between PEF and then the privacy issue, because like as the author mentioned, PEF is sensitive to data heterogeneity, non-IID data, and on top of that we add like perturbation through the differential privacy. How can it affect, because like by having like non-IID data itself is already reduced the performance, but how can we what effect if we add another noise or perturbation in this technique? So this three question is like the author question for the future research direction. And yeah, that's all of my presentation. Is there any question?